What's up guys, how you all doing? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today, yes, we are back on Anime Soul Simulator for what most likely is the final time before Anime Souls X. And I think you can guess what this video is going to be about. I mean, you've read the title, you've seen the thumbnail, and if you're in my Discord server, which is by the way linked in the description, I already mentioned this a bunch of times. Pretty much the whole point of this video is just to say some suggestions and ideas that I hope to see in Anime Souls X, since they kind of advertise it as being the more refined / much better version of Anime Souls. So yeah, I decided to make a list full of things of what they should improve, what they should remove, what they should add. And yeah, hopefully, who knows, maybe a dev is watching this and they will be able to add a thing or two. And if they don't add it on release date, then at least maybe they might have some ideas for, you know, update 1, update 2, etc. But quickly, before I jump into all of the ideas I want to tell you about, I just want to quickly say, if you do end up enjoying this video and want to see more, whether it's on the upcoming Anime Souls X or some other game that I play on the channel, then feel free to like and subscribe down below. Since it's completely free to do, you can always change your mind later, which I doubt you will. Plus, it supports the channel, and especially the more views it gets, the more likes it gets, the more likely a dev would see this. But anyways, enough of all of that, let's jump right into the suggestions. Alright, now what exactly do I mean by mayors? Well, if you have a look at the screenshot on your screen right now, you will notice something familiar. Yes, that's right, that is pretty much the normal poll events that they would do in the Discord server every single week. You know, the ones that would decide what weekly events we would be getting for that week. Well, yeah, I decided, what if we moved away from Discord and moved things more in-game? Now, the reason behind this is for quite many reasons. Number one being that a lot of people aren't even old enough to use Discord. Now, I have thought about it for a little bit, and I think I have an example which I think would be perfect in-game. For example, let's say this is the Anime Souls X lobby, you know, this is the first world and whatnot, and pretty much the voting booth would be somewhere over here. Pretty much how it would work is, obviously, you would walk up to it, a GUI would pop up, and then on that GUI, you would have 3 options, aka 3 different types of mayors. Now, regarding what each mayor would do would obviously depend on, you know, how the devs set it up and which characters they decide to choose that will be mayors. For example, on your screens, I have chosen 3 characters, Luffy, Naruto, and Goku. And pretty much these are just some examples of how each mayor would be a buff. For example, if you vote for Luffy, you would be getting ×2 luck and +5 opens, which would make him the perfect mayor if everyone wants to hatch a bunch of eggs. However, moving on to the next mayor, Naruto. Now, this one I have changed up a little bit. Obviously, yes, you probably would have guessed it. He will be giving some kind of energy multiplier, let's say ×3 energy. But not only that, you might be noticing that just under that, I have written special Naruto drops. Now, I'm not going to talk about what exactly that means right now, but it will be coming up in the next suggestion after, so just stick around and then I'll explain exactly what I mean by that. But anyways, moving on to the final mayor, in this example, we have Goku. Now, he would obviously have some kind of damage event multiplier. In this case, it would be, let's say, 2.5x damage. And not only that, he would be giving you a +25% attack speed bonus. So yeah, you get the point. Pretty much there could be a mayor for every single type of stat in the game. Now, obviously, these won't be the only 3 mayors. Let's say, for example, there'd be a total of 12 mayors, and then each one is like slightly better than the other. But then again, obviously, the different mayors, they might have, you know, some unique rewards to them, just like Naruto has. But not only that, I was as well considering, what if maybe they added as well some secret mayors? Now, which mayors would that be? Well, again, they could just be some other anime characters. Maybe they could be like the really OP ones from their own animes. But I was also thinking, what if they made those secret mayors the YouTubers who make videos on their game? Since I know that they have done something similar for Default Plays, in case you don't know who he is, I will have his channel linked in the description. But yeah, pretty much they added him as an NPC in One Fruit. I'm not sure if he's still in game, but he was there at least. So yeah, I was thinking it might be a cool idea maybe to add the YouTubers as these secret mayors, and then what exactly they would buff. Pretty much the ideas are endless. They could change the stats to whatever they want to be, and I think it would be a cool system. Now, how often would would these elections last? I'm not entirely sure. And what I mean by that is I'm not entirely sure if it would work if, let's say, it is once a week or whether it's twice a week. Since obviously if only bad mayors get in the roles, then obviously no one wants to wait a whole week of, you know, a bad mayor before a new one. But then again, if a really good one, let's say a secret one pops up, then I don't think people want him to be like up for only like 3 days. So yeah, regarding how often these elections would be, devs, unfortunately, that's completely up to you. But anyways, that's enough of suggestion 1. Let's move on to suggestion 2. Now, yes, I'm sure this might come as a huge surprise to you. How on earth could crafting be added into an Anime Souls game? Well, in fact, it actually already has. I'm sure a lot of you have forgotten about this NPC, but if you head over to the Sing's Kingdom, there is literally a crafting NPC right over here. Now, currently at the moment, especially before they added the whole keys craftables, this NPC was pretty much useless. And obviously that was kind of a waste since, you know, this had a huge potential of being like a really main part of the game. So that's why I think in Anime Souls X, they should really focus a lot of the main gameplay on crafting. Now, what exactly would you craft? Well, obviously, it wouldn't be something like, for example, a sword or whatnot. I think the whole system would work more on the accessories. Since right now in Anime Souls, or at least before, you know, when they were still updating, pretty much they would add a new accessory every week, which was always better than the last. So you would never really have enough time to like upgrade it properly. So my idea was thinking, why not make it where, let's say, in the extreme time trials, you drop, let's say, this Jotapei's cloak. Let's say it's called the Dark Cloak. And pretty much with this cloak and a bunch of other items that you can get in-game, whether they are dropped from bosses or raids or time trials or whatnot, you can then upgrade it into something really broken. Not only that, I think it can pretty much work on every single type of role, whether it's the skills, the Kaganes, the duel cards. Since I'm not sure if people were exactly fans of how every single week, or well, in this case every single 2 weeks, there would be a new skill, and pretty much it would either be better than the previous one or it wouldn't be better at all, obviously depending on attack speed and whatnot. So yeah, I was thinking, why not keep the amount of mythical skills lowered, but you can upgrade them with special items? For example, remember the Naruto Mayor that I talked about? Well, yeah, those special drops from the Naruto Mayor, which you could only get when he is elected, could be used on maybe a Naruto skill. For example, right now, I currently have the Rasen Shuriken. Let's say with these Naruto fragments, for example, let's say they're called fragments, I can turn this Rasen Shuriken skill into a, let's say, a tailed beast bomb. Now, just in case you aren't fully understanding what I mean by how this crafting system would work, let me show you an example. So here I am in another big popular game that's, you know, on Roblox right now, Leaderboard. And I think if we head somewhere over here, I'm not entirely sure where it is since I don't exactly play this game that much. Okay, I can't seem to find it. I don't know where they moved it, or maybe they removed it, who knows. So let me just quickly pop up a screenshot of what I mean. Pretty much, if you wanted to craft this really OP ability in Blade Ball, you would need 3 of these ultra rare items. One of them being a skill, and then the others being, I think, just some random swords that you can get. Again, I don't play Blade Ball that much, so I don't really know. But yeah, you get what I mean. Just in this case, for example, replace, let's say, the Titan slash ability, you know, the yellow guy thing. Replace him with, let's say, the Naruto skill. And then the other 2 would be the Naruto fragments that I talked about before. And let's say 10,000 coins on the very left. And then yeah, you get the points. Pretty much that's how I think the crafting system should work, and I think everyone would like it. If you don't like it, or you think it should work in some other way, let me know down below in the comments. But yeah, that's enough of suggestion 2. Time for suggestion 3. Oh boy, here we go, everyone's favorite part of Anime Souls, where you have to AFK in the circle for a week straight. And obviously with the new game coming out, no one wants to do that again. So what exactly do I have in mind regarding a more upgraded hero test? Well, I think instead of just it being some AFK circle, why not it be some kind of challenge where, for example, you have to go through a bunch of worlds, let's say worlds 1 till 10. And pretty much you would be running around, killing every single enemy as fast as possible. And then depending on the final time that you get, let's say if you do it under 3 minutes, then you'd get a bunch of rewards ranging from, I don't know, it could be coins, it could maybe have a low chance of dropping some kind of materials for crafting, which I mentioned before. And yeah, obviously there would be a time of, let's say, maximum 15 minutes, and then you wouldn't just get rewards if you finish it in 3 minutes. Let's say if you beat it in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you get the point. Now obviously, apart from, you know, the accessory coin rewards that I was talking about, you might be asking, okay, hold on, you kind of forgot that the whole hero test, like the point of it is, you know, to get these multipliers. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten about it, I just haven't mentioned it yet. So now, how exactly should this hero test work? Well, I kind of forgot to mention one drop which you could get from this theoretical hero test. Let's say, as an example, for the sake of this video, they will be called hero shards. And well, with this hero shards, you would walk up to some kind of NPC/shop, even though you're not technically buying anything. But yeah, let's say this is the shop. You would walk up and pretty much you would have 3 options: energy, damage, and souls. And pretty much with those hero fragments, you'd be able to upgrade them. Let's say the first one will cost 10 hero fragments, then the next one will cost 15, 20, 30, 40, 80, and then so on. And then yeah, you get the point. Pretty much this makes the hero test more interactive, you know, not just AFKing in a circle for 7 days straight. And obviously they shouldn't make it where it would take 7 days straight, you know, pure grinding if you want to actually max out this, again, theoretical hero test. And I think this actually moves perfectly onto my next suggestion. Now yes, it is exactly as it sounds, and what I mean by it. There should be more enchantments in the game. Like seriously, I don't know why if, for example, let's say I select this secret over here, I can only upgrade his energy and his soul gain. Like, why not add a luck enchantment, or why not add a drop enchantment, which would work perfectly with the hero test that I just explained before? You're getting what I'm saying, right? Everything's just clicking together and they make sense. And as well, in my opinion, there should be an easier way to get a bunch more enchantment tokens. And not only that, I think that there should be more different types of the red ones, and maybe even like a rarer version of it. Let's say a black one. And yeah, pretty much the whole point of this suggestion is that the enchantments need to be really buffed/worked on, since I think that they are a bit bland and I don't really use them that much apart from making a souls team. Like, in my opinion, this energy one isn't even worth it, because by the time you get, like, I don't know, energy 5 on, let's say, all these secrets, then the next update would have come out by then, and then pretty much, you know, you just wasted a bunch of tokens. Which is why I only saved my enchantment tokens for the more permanent guys, you know, the ones that I know I would be using for many updates in the future. And in fact, as you can see, I managed to get hybrid on at least one of them. And yeah, obviously, again, if we go back to like my second suggestion of crafting, this could work as well, especially if they make it where you can like craft up your heroes. For example, let's say you could turn a mythical into a different type of, you know, crafted mythical. One that would last pretty much like 1 or 2 updates or many more updates. Maybe even a way that you can craft an exclusive. You know, maybe they'll do it like an event where, for example, on Christmas, you can craft an exclusive Santa type of unit. And yeah, then that one would scale up to the worlds that you're in, pretty much exactly like the exclusives right now in game. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on enchantments. I hope that in Anime Souls X, at least they definitely work on this. Now, this suggestion is something which I don't really see a lot nowadays, especially in the newer anime games, and I don't know why they don't do this. Pretty much what I am saying is, why is there only mythical and then, you know, secrets? For example, why not add something even rarer than a secret, or maybe make secrets rarer and then add something in between, let's say a divine? That way I think it would make hatching a bit more worth it, and then, you know, when someone would hatch, let's say, a secret, it would be a much better feeling instead of, you know, seeing that one person with a full team of like shiny or godly secrets. Now, how much more rarities there should be, again, I'm not entirely sure. Obviously it would depend on how the game, you know, Anime Souls X would work, but I think maybe adding 1 or 2 more and then making a secret like, you know, let's say a really rare chance, like 1 in, let's say, 500,000 or 1 in a million. Or maybe even just make it like an insane number, like 1 in 10 million, and then like the divine would be 1 in 1 million, and then there would be something else above mythical at 1 in 100k. And yeah, pretty much that's all I really have to say regarding that. It's a pretty simple suggestion. I really hope that they do kind of consider this. But yeah, enough of that. Time for suggestion 6, which basically means we're already halfway done. Once again, I am really shocked that a lot of the new anime games and anime souls actually never did this. I really think that leaderboard rewards would be a very cool concept, and then obviously it would make grinding for the leaderboards much more worth it. Now, yes, I know in these current like leaderboards, it wouldn't make sense since obviously these are, for example, the pay-to-win ones. And then there are the free-to-play ones in the world, I think, just after this. So I think, in my opinion, in order to make a fair leaderboard, what they would have to do is they would need to make a brand new one, and pretty much what that leaderboard would be is total hero power. Now, you're seeing where I'm going with this, right? So I just talked about adding, you know, a bunch more rarities and whatnot, and basically making hatching a bit more active in the game. And yeah, with that idea, I think it would just make hatching overall a much greater experience. And as well, it definitely would keep people online more, you know, grinding souls, so then they could keep on hatching, trying to get, you know, the secrets, the divines, the other rarities if they add any more. Now, what exactly would someone get if they were to place, let's say, in the top 100? Obviously, it's completely up to the devs. Maybe they can do it how I think Anime Racing Clicker did it, where like top 100 got like a Sasuno, and then I think like top 10 or something got like a Madara Sasuno, something like that. But yeah, once again, I think it's a pretty cool idea. It definitely would make people grind more. It would make the game much more competitive. And don't worry, you won't be alone, because the next suggestion, suggestion 7, solves that. Now, this suggestion is actually quite different from the other ones, especially since, you know, it is oftenly added in a bunch of games. However, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like a lot of those games manage to get it right. They always seem to mess up something in some way, and then they just make guilds a horrible experience. So don't worry, I've done pretty much the thinking for the devs. I think I've come up with a solid guild system. Now, how I think it would work is, let's say there would be a button somewhere, let's say down here or over here for guilds. And just to make sure that you don't have every single person joining the game making a guild, they could do some requirement, for example, let's say unlocking a specific world or costing a certain amount of currency. Please don't be Robux, because then you definitely kill that idea as a whole. But maybe, for example, maybe 20k coins, for example. Obviously, it depends on how easy coins are to get in the new game, but you get the idea. Pretty much there would be some kind of price behind creating a guild. And how this guild would work is pretty much every single day you would get a certain amount of quests, let's say 5 quests. And then let's say every 24 hours, those quests would reset, and then upon completing them, you would get guild XP, and then every single certain amount of guild XP would unlock something new. And it could be pretty much anything. I'm not going to limit it to like a specific idea set or whatnot. Like here, let me just throw some random ideas here and there. For example, let's say if every single person in your guild manages to beat the hard time trial, if there is obviously a hard time trial on the release, then everyone would get, let's say, a 50% damage boost. And that would be a permanent boost as long as you're in the guild. Obviously, if you leave the guild, you lose that buff. And those would be the more one-time rewards, and then would go back and then would have, you know, a leveling reward system where, let's say, if your guild reaches, let's say the maximum level is level 10, then everyone will get +1 equip. Once again, these are just some random ideas I'm throwing here and there of, you know, what buffs you can get and how exactly you can unlock them. All I'm hoping is that they don't end up making it where, like, you have to grind really, really hard and then the reward would be, like, a 5% damage boost. So yeah, hopefully if they do end up adding guilds, they will make it right. Since I think they have made it before in Anime Lost, they made like a guild system, which I think everyone was really happy about and it seemed to be working. But anyways, that's enough talking about guilds. Let's move on to suggestion 8. Alright, so in my opinion, this is one of my favorite suggestions just for the fact that you can pretty much do anything with it. Now, what do I mean by better quests / more storylines? For example, you know how in every single world, there's a quest board, you need to defeat a certain amount of enemies of each type, and then it unlocks the next world, right? Well, why not they add, for example, every few worlds, obviously in Anime Souls X, but let's pretend that this is Anime Souls X, right? Let's say if we scroll up all the way over here in Pieki Village, you could find Luffy, who would be basically like a side quest NPC, and then he will pretty much send you, treasure hunting across all the maps. Let's say he sends you from Pieki Village to Planet Nomak, to then all the way over to Slime Forest. And then yeah, his quest would range from defeating certain enemies from that world to maybe even getting a drop from maybe the boss of that world. And then let's say once you complete the quest line, you can get, I don't know, a mount. Or maybe some kind of secret buff, I don't know, it really depends on what the devs decide to choose. But I think mounts would be the best choice for the simple reason that, for example, on Anime Souls, even though we are on update 37, I think they've only released 2 free-to-play mounts. Like, yeah, I'm not joking. Like, all of these are pay to win. You can't get them for free. You have to pay for the battle passes. Obviously, you can't anymore for these 3 because obviously the battle passes of those have passed. But yeah, you get what I mean. For example, the card came out like, I think in update 32 or something, and then this pumpkin one came out like 2 updates ago, 36 or 35 for the Halloween update. So yeah, once again, I really think that they should make, a much larger variety of mounts, especially for free to play. That way, obviously, they don't end up, just having nothing. Now, I'm not saying turn all of these mounts into free to play ones. Obviously, yes, keep some exclusive ones. That way you get people, they want to end up, actually paying. But yeah, as I was saying, if they could add, some more NPCs / side quests and whatnot in the different worlds that there would be in Anime Souls, I think that would be really fun. And another thing that I would really love to see is, if I'm not mistaken, especially some of the OG Roblox players might remember this, but do you remember an old game called Dungeon Quest? And how there was so much talk about how there was like a secret quest line in order to unlock that like Excalibur sword in the middle of the map. And then eventually someone figured out like the first step to that quest line, and then like a beam went onto the sword. I'll have some screenshots on screen of what I'm meaning. And yeah, hopefully you're getting what I'm meaning. Pretty much as well, the quest lines are tying onto kind of a puzzle type of system. And I know for sure that everyone loves a good solid puzzle, because I think Anime Force had like 3 or 4 different puzzle elements in their game, and everyone loved it. As far as I know, everyone loved the puzzle system. For example, in Anime Force there was like an Infinity Stone hunt type of thing. And yeah, if Anime Souls decides to do something similar in their new game, I'm all up for it. But anyways, that's all of my suggestions. It's time to move on to the final 2, which are a bit special. So for these last 2 suggestions, I decided to message a few YouTuber friends of mine that I know. The 2 of them being Heyyo221 and Default Plays. Pretty much what I did was I asked them saying, hey, do you have like one suggestion that, you would love to see in Anime Souls X? And here's pretty much what they had to say. So starting off with Heyyo. Now his suggestion over here, adding a global boss where you get special rewards for being top 3, top 2, top 1 for damage on the boss. And the higher damage you do, you get the better rewards. And also he mentions different events like a gold event, since gold was kind of really annoying to get in game. But the main part of this suggestion, which I really love, is especially the global boss one, because he does eventually mention that how this new global boss would work is that instead of it being in the same server that you're in, it will take you to a new server where it will be filled up with people who want to as well fight the global boss. Since I got to be honest, nowadays when you join a global boss, usually I'm the only one there. Even in a full public server, it's like no one wants to do global bosses anymore. And another thing that I love about it especially is that I don't think it's actually that difficult to pull off. Or at least it's not going to end up giving the devs like nightmares just for creating it for like weeks and weeks straight. But anyways, jokes aside, thank you Heyyo for the suggestion. Hope to see you making amazing content on Anime Souls X as well. Now moving on to the final suggestion, aka the 10th suggestion, we are going to be talking to Rob, aka Mr. Default Default plays. He goes on to say, I like what they did in Anime Lost near the end with the clan/group feature, maybe add some perks for X amount of members, etc. But he also mentions Anime Lost dungeon things were pretty cool. Now obviously I already mentioned the clan part / guild thing before in a previous suggestion, but when he mentioned this Anime Lost dungeon things, I was kind of confused because I haven't really played Anime Lost. Yeah, just one of those games which I didn't have time to play when it came out, so yeah, that's a bit of an L on my end. But yeah, I decided to rewatch pretty much almost all of his series to understand what on earth he was talking about, and after seeing what he was talking about, I 100% agree. Pretty much how it works is, so let's say, actually hold on, I think I'm in the perfect world for this, yeah. Alright, so let's imagine that pretty much this is the dungeon, aka the time trial. So instead of there being just like normal bland time trials, where there's just like 5 enemies in the room and you take them out, you take out the boss and then the next door opens. Pretty much everything would take place in a single room, and then there would be like each enemy on a corner of like a really big shape. Now which shape that was, I don't know, maybe it was an octagon or something. I didn't really count how many corners there were. But yeah, what was so special about these dungeons / I think they were called invasions, was that they had a large variety of enemies to them. For example, you couldn't just, let's say, just run up to the boss and just start fighting him, put on the auto click and sitting on him. No, you couldn't do that, because right near him there would be these healers who would actually heal the boss and basically make your life hell when it came to taking out the boss. And not only that, if I'm not mistaken, like each 5 waves there was a chance of getting like a special artifact which would have a huge boost. And these artifacts range from common to secret, and then depending on which wave you got them would depend how good it would be. For example, if you got the secret on wave 5, it wouldn't be as good as getting a secret on wave 10, and then obviously it would be even worse than one that you got on wave 15, etc. You get the point. So yeah, pretty much these invasions were like time trials, but they were a bit more interactive, not just just repeating, going around the room and then going through the door. And I think that's what a lot of anime simulator games need more often. A bit more actual, fun gameplay, and not just, something which Tiny Task could do. But anyways, that was the final suggestion for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, I do actually have some more suggestions which I decided to leave out of this video because they weren't that big / were really important, like needed to be talked on ASAP. But there are some small features, here and there which could maybe improve the gameplay slightly. So if you want to see maybe a part 2 on this video, you know what to do. And in case you don't know what to do, let me help you out real quick. Scroll down under the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button with notifications on, obviously, and comment down below, I want to see a part 2. And if I see enough comments, if I see enough likes, if I see enough subscribers gained from this video alone, I'll definitely do it. But apart from that, that's everything that I have to say. If you are a dev and you've watched this far into the video, once again, thank you for making this amazing game. Ever since I made episode 1 on this game, I've been loving it and everyone watching has been loving it. So once again, thank you to you if you're a dev watching, or an owner or a moderator. You were all part of the team, so I'm going to, say thank you to all of you. Anime Souls was an amazing journey. I can't wait to continue that on Anime Souls X. And obviously, thank you to all you guys who have been showing so much support on the videos, whether you were giving me tips on how to progress, or offering carries, or maybe even just saying like, love your videos, man, in the comments. I appreciate everything. You guys and you guys alone are the only ones making my dream of being a full-time YouTuber, closer and closer to achieving. In fact, we're getting closer to our next milestone of, I think, 4K subscribers, and we are trying to still hit 5K subs before the end of the year. And yeah, there's around a month left to go, so once again, another reason to subscribe if you haven't. But anyways, enough of all of that. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out, everybody.